Alrighty, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to each one to call another episode of the sit down. This is gonna be, I guess, episode 8.2. I'm kind of just freestyling, do something a little bit different this week. And I know I had talked about it's on Wednesday. Today I wanted to do a little Q&A. So put some stuff up on social media and ask some questions about what people wanted me to answer on the show. So I got some pretty interesting questions. So we're just gonna kind of run through them together, have a little bit of fun, and just do something a little bit different. Do something a little bit different. Because I think it's always good to have some different stuff kind of come through the channeling and keep people on their toes a little bit, and just show some variation and show some diversity in terms of stuff we talk about. So all right, so first question, and I'm not going to specify who gave me these questions because that would be kind of weird, but yeah, we're just going to run through them. So first question, what do you think honestly would fix the division in this world today? What do I think would fix the division in the world today? Well, I think it all starts with being able to understand other people's points of view and the willingness to see things from a perspective other than their own. I think today there's this huge trend, and I've talked about it before. I think social media has really played a big part in the reason why people can't understand other people's points of view and why there is so much division, because everybody thinks that their viewpoint is the only viewpoint. Everybody thinks their opinion is the most important opinion, and that's what social media portrays. They want you to talk about you. What's most important to you? What do you think is important? What is your stand on this? And so that gives people the thought process that their opinion is the only opinion, not understanding that their opinion might be the most important opinion to them, but it's not the only opinion in the world. So I think it would start there. And I think something else that would help with the unity is having a platform or having something where people can come together for a common cause. I think nowadays everybody's pulled in so many different directions, and when you're pulled in different directions, you go different ways in life. And I don't ever think that's going to change necessarily, but there isn't, I feel, as many platforms where people can come together and talk about topics that matter to them like there used to be. And I think when there's a lack of a platform for people to talk to similar-minded people that would agree with each other and would have similar opinions, now they don't have a platform to talk to somebody else that would agree with them potentially. So I think that's another thing that might help too. Second question, what advice would you give your younger self? Another good one. I think for me, my biggest piece of advice I would give to my younger self is to be patient. Be patient, and enjoy the little things. Enjoying the little things, and not to sweat the stuff you can't control. Because I think for me, growing up, I was so focused on the larger scale of things. I was so focused on the big scheme that I never really understood that it's the small stuff that really makes the big things what they are. And I think now, I'm at such a different place because I'm able to appreciate the small stuff. I'm grateful to just wake up every morning, and I'm always blessed, with the small things in life, like being able to wake up and thank God for the things I have, being able to wake up and be grateful, for the roof that's over my head, for the car that I'm able to drive, for the job that I've been provided, for the mind that God has given me, stuff like that. And, being patient and understanding that life is a process. And yeah, there's these people that are 16, 17 years old that are successful at a very young age. There's 22-year-olds that are multimillionaires, but the fact of the matter is that was their calling, that was their purpose. That's not my purpose, because I haven't got that yet. And being able to understand that your calling is specific to you, what you're supposed to do is specific to you, and it's going to look different. Your journey is completely unique compared to anybody else's, and accept that and be willing to appreciate that and roll with that, because you can't try to compare yourself to somebody else, because you are unique, you're one of a kind. And be willing to accept that, and don't put yourself under a microscope that's used for a different person. Put yourself under the microscope of something that's supposed to be used for you, and appreciate the ride, appreciate the journey, because there's a lot of really beautiful things that happen in life. But if you're comparing yourself to other people the entire time, you're never gonna be able to appreciate it. And so that would be a piece of advice I would give to my younger self. Let's see. This is a straight troll job right here, but why is PC gaming inferior to console gaming? Well, two things. Number one, it's not. PC gaming, in my opinion, I think is superior to everything console-wise. I just think in terms of the capabilities of PC gaming, you know, they're far superior than consoles. You know, you have to always update your console every time you get a new system. You know, the backwards compatibility, every system says they're gonna have backwards compatibility, but the fact of the matter is a lot of them don't execute on it the right way. And, you know, with PC gaming, once you buy a game, you know, you have that game for life and you have that game forever. You know, so for me, I'm a PC gamer. I have a PS4, but I haven't turned it on in probably 6 or 7 months. Also, I don't remember my login password, and then the email that I send my stuff to get my password reset, I can't remember how to log into that either. So I have a PS4 for sale, so if anybody's looking to if anybody's looking to buy a PS4, you let me know. We can work something out. But yeah, that's that. Okay. Next question. Why do you think the peaceful protesters remain in the area of looting and plundering, knowing that they will be guilty by association? Wow. That's a great question. You know, I never really thought about that. And that kind of makes sense because a lot of the things you hear now, you hear a lot of people not being able to comprehend and disassociate the looters and plunderers from the peaceful protesters. A lot of times those seem to get coupled into one. And I think that is part of it, you know, the whole concept of guilty by association. That's a very real thing. And that's a great question. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure, you know, what that answer is. Because I think it's challenging because, yeah, in an ideal situation, the second these peaceful protesters see all this stuff going on, you know, they should leave. You know, they should leave the area because you don't want to be coupled with something like that. And, you know, 97% of the protesting is peaceful. That's a fact. 97%. And the 3%, a lot of them are this right-wing, you know, purposely put in place people that are there to try to distract and to disrupt the situation and cause disunity in a very unified situation. But on the flip side of that, it's if these peaceful protesters decide to leave the second these looters and these plunderers start to do what they do, now what it turns into is now their powers beyond our control are gonna keep hiring these people. Anytime a protest happens, oh yeah, just go in there and just shut it down. Just go cause some chaos and everything's gonna stop. So it's kind of a slippery slope, and it's a bit dangerous in a sense because I do agree with that whole guilty by association thing because you see it in the court of law all the time. You know, an accessory of murder. You know, if you see murder and you don't say anything, you can now be charged for accessory of murder. But at the same time, it's divisive in the sense of, you know, powers beyond our control. Clearly, they've been doing stuff like that already. And I think if the peaceful protesters just decided to up and leave the second those things started to happen, I think it would be a really easy way to silence something that shouldn't be silenced that easily. But that's a great question, and it's something I don't really think about. That was really good. And then let's go over here because I got some stuff on my phone as well. 1% battery. This is gonna be dicey. Okay. What is something you are most proud of accomplishing in the past year of all time? Okay, so something that I'm really proud of accomplishing this year is, for me, really understanding how to be at inner peace with myself and be comfortable with who I am. And like I had referenced in my last video, you know, learning how to be happy, and understanding that it's okay to just kind of slow down. And so I think for me, kind of that inner peace would be one of the things that I'm really excited about. And I think another thing I'll add on there is really starting this YouTube channel, because this is so far out of my comfort zone and it's so unnatural for me to do. I've always been a big fan of YouTube. I've always thought about doing it, but I've never really taken the plunge and gone for it. So for me to really kind of step up and, you know, make the financial plunge to buy all the equipment, to get everything I needed to get, to do it, and then to learn things along the way and really challenge myself mentally to understand things and to grow and to change in that aspect. I would say that's probably one of my biggest accomplishments this year. And then of all time, that's a good one. I'm not sure actually. One of my biggest accomplishments of all time. I would say, I think I would say for me, one of my biggest accomplishments of all time is being financially stable at a young age and really being able to take control of my finances. I think that's a really big thing, especially nowadays where everything is plastic and everything is so fluid in terms of, just put it on a credit card and, deal with the repercussions of it later. I think for me, I got blessed with some really good people in my life that really kind of taught me how to be a student of the finances and understanding that, of course, money is not everything. It never has been for me and it never will be. But in order to accomplish things in life and to enjoy the fruits of life, you do need to have some financial backing to be able to experience that kind of stuff. So for me, being at the age that I'm at, and being financially stable to a sense, obviously I still have a lot of room to grow and to continue to build that empire, but to be at a place where, I can be financially stable and I can hold myself afloat if things do go poorly. And in case anything does happen, I'm able to take care of it. I think that's one of my biggest accomplishments of all time so far. So some more questions here. Zodiac and how you describe yourself. So I think that's asking for my zodiac sign. So I'm a Libra. And how would I define myself? I think I really enjoy, I'm an extrovert, but I really enjoy being introverted. So I enjoy being around people. I really enjoy the company of people. But at the same time, I really, really have a high value on my personal time and my free space. So for me, it's kind of strange because I'm a bit of both. And honestly, I think this past year I've learned that I think I might enjoy being an introvert as much as I do being an extrovert. So it's interesting in that sense for sure. I'm a very compassionate person. I care a lot about people. I'm very outgoing. I think I have a pretty good head on me. I think I have a good mind for my age. What else? I love to laugh. I like to have a lot of fun. But I'm a grinder. I'm very blue collar in the sense of I'm ready to get to work. I love to work. I love to put my head down. I love to outwork my competition. And I really enjoy competition too, because for me that's really a good tool for me to use to see where I'm at in terms of my growth, to see where I'm at in terms of what I'm willing to do to accomplish the things I want to accomplish. And I'm very goal driven as well. I love to have goals in front of me and I love to chase them down. I love to hunt them. I love to create a reality through the goals that I have set for myself. And I love to do everything in the middle to try to get there, because there's power in chasing your goals and accomplishing them, because without those goals, you're not working for anything. And if you're not working for anything, if you're not trying to actively improve and chase something in life, then you're just kind of floating around and I don't know, it just seems like kind of floating with the breeze. And for me, that's not gonna happen for me. That's not something I'm gonna do. And then what I wanted to do was, for that Zodiac one, I wanted to read what the characteristics of a Libra are. So let's see here. So the personality of a Libra explained, and this is from allure.com. A Libra is obsessed with symmetry and strives to create equilibrium in all areas of life. These air signs are the aesthetics of the Zodiac. What? Ruled by Venus, the planet that governs love, beauty, and money, Libras adore high art, intellectualism, and connoisseurship. What makes a Libra happy? Libra just wants the freedom of choice. They love being able to do things and buy things and obtain things without ever having to wait for them. What are the weaknesses of a Libra? Weaknesses: inherent, escapes conflicts, grudges, abnormal self-pity. Libras like balance, kindness, partying with others, outdoor activities. Libras dislike violence, injustice, confrontation. These identities are peaceful, impartial, and just hate being in solitude and constantly require company. Interesting. That's interesting. Why are Libras so beautiful? Their dedication to the ones that they love and the desire to hold true to traditional values make Libras one of the most attractive signs. When looking for love, people lean towards what's familiar to them, and oftentimes what feels like it will only be theirs. So I guess that's a Libra. So I guess that's how you would define a Libra in a sense. So yeah, okay, I would agree with most of that stuff. All right, so these are just some funny ones to kind of close out with. Would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a 6 with an amazing personality? Well, ideally, you'd be a combination of both. I would like to be married to a 10 with a great personality. But no, if I had to answer the question how it's asked, I would go with the 6 with a great personality, because for me, I really value conversation. I like somebody who has a mind. If I can't speak to somebody and I can't engage them mentally, it's a very unattractive person to me. So for me, I would rather go with the 6 with a really great personality. Would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors, or go into the future and meet your great-great-grandchildren? Oh man, that's tough. I think for me, I would rather go into the past, because that's something I'm not gonna ever experience anyway. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, I'll meet my great-great-grandchildren, hopefully. If my kids one day, they get busy early, then those kids get busy early as well, I might have a chance there. So the likelihood of that happening is probably pretty low, but I would say, I mean, there is no chance that I'm gonna ever meet my ancestors, so I'll go with that instead. Would you rather be able to talk with all animals or speak all foreign languages? I would want to speak all foreign languages. I think that'd be really cool to be able to go any place in the world and talk to anybody. That would be pretty cool. So I would definitely go with all foreign languages. Who would you rather chill with for a weekend? Drake or Chris Brown? Oh man. Both. Because here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go with Drake, and then I'm gonna tell Drake to hit up Chris Brown and get Chris Brown over there too, so we can all vibe out for the weekend. Because those are my two dogs right there. Those two are my top 5 right now. But well, that's a discussion for a different day. And then last question. If you dated a girl for 5 years, would you break up with her for $5 million? No, I wouldn't. Because for me, if I'm dating a girl for 5 years, that means that we're getting ready to have a marriage and have kids and be ready to have a life together forever. And the money comes and goes, but those memories, those relationships, those are things that you can't replace. So for me, I would go with keep dating the girl. The money, I can make $5 million, but maybe that relationship, that's something I might never ever be able to replicate. So I would go with the relationship. But yeah, there you go, guys. So that was kind of the first go around at a little Q&A for the sit down. So that was episode 8.2 of the sit down. A little Q&A. I'm excited to get this guys out to you and see how everything goes, how you guys like it. I had a lot of fun with this. This was really cool to kind of go through some of your questions and think about that. That was fun. So, alrighty, y'all. We'll see you next time on the sit down. Friday, I got another thing coming for you that'll be pretty interesting. So stay tuned. All right.